This painting is called Grainstacks Sunset and is part of a series of 15 paintings done by Impressionist Claude Monet, picturing grain stacks in a field near his house. He painted all of them outside. He painted this series in 1890 and 1891, with this particular painting completed in 1891. The medium is oil on canvas. According to the website for the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston, Impressionism was a 19th century art movement characterized by thin yet noticeable brushstrokes, open composition, and accurate depiction of light and its changing qualities. Monet is an example of an Impressionist painter because he painted what surrounded him, and he especially loved painting landscapes and leisure activities. His paintings, including this one, show rather obvious brushstrokes and clearly depicts the changing qualities of light. Most of his series paintings were to explore different aspects of light, and it is clear in this painting that this was one purpose. Here he is playing with the very soft yet magnificent lighting of sunset. Bold color is contrasted with soft colors. Monet's series of haystacks are painted under different light conditions at different times of the day. He would rise before dawn, paint the first canvas for half an hour, by which time the light would have changed. Then he would switch to the second canvas, and so on. The next day he would repeat the process. According to the book Painting the Impressionist Landscape, Lessons Interpreting Light and Color by Lois Griffel, for Monet, the Haystack series provided an opportunity to combine a basic doctrine of Impressionism, capturing what he called instantaneous moments in nature's temporal cycles, with the modern notions of painting that sought to extract from and reconstruct nature according to the formal and expressive potential of the picture itself. The subject of the painting, the grain stack, becomes secondary to the colors and effects. So in other words, he was trying to capture light and air with paint. In Grainstack Sunset, the same blue used in the surroundings is present in the subject grain stack, breaking the barrier between figure and ground. Also, Monet captures the haziness of sunset in the painting. The most important interest of Monet with this painting was to symbolize the fertility of the land, the material wealth of local farmers, and the prosperity of the region. He loved the French countryside and grew up in a rural environment.
The Doni was painted by Michelangelo, the famous artist of the Italian Renaissance period. He made this very surprising masterpiece through the help of many other artists. The circular panel painting was surrounded by a wood gilt frame that was designed but not curved by Michelangelo. It was provided by the rich Florentine banker Agnolo Doni. Doni had privately asked Michelangelo to make this piece for him, according to Regina Stephanak, where she discussed the history of this piece in her book Mysterium Magnum, Michelangelo's Tondo Doni, Burroughs Studies in Intellectual History, and it was made to extol virtues of a Christian marriage through its focus on the Holy Family. The artwork seemed to display Mary and Joseph with the child, and this child had seemed to be a gift to the world. The circular scenes of Madonna and the infancy of Christ was very popular in the Florence area, and it had symbolized marriage in the Renaissance period, and was very prevalent in many other artworks in that time period. Michelangelo was able to show his talent of sculpture in his artwork. Lauren Mitchell-Raring from How Stuff Works discussed how the 3D force helped the painting avoid a very flat appearance. The choices that were used in regards to color and also shape were used to catch the human eye in a very miraculous way. And Michelangelo maintained a very interesting composition called an inverted triangle composition, whereas the three heads were in a triangular shape in the painting. Lastly, the framework was also very detail-oriented. There were 5 heads that were present. At the top seemed to be the head of Christ, and then along the painting were 4 prophets or followers that were evenly around. The bright colors that were used were very similar to Michelangelo's future pieces, like the Sistine ceiling of frescoes. The medium looked very marble-like. It was so smooth that it provided a very sculpture-like appearance, and the drapery had very 3D and realistic ridges. He used shading with intense colors that were first very intense at the bottom and very light on top. The darker colors were just shadows, and this technique was later called quinquante. He created a very unfocused effect in the background, which led to a very more focused foreground. And the Virgin's garment was very vibrant, which helped signify her importance in the artwork and also in that time period. This artwork is very similar to Leonardo da Vinci's piece, The Virgin and Child with St. Anne. He used this art piece and was able to display previous artworks. And he also maintained the same composition, the triangular composition, in his artwork, the Doni Tondo.